My name is Nathalie Reid. I'm the director of the Child Trauma Research Center at the University of Regina, and I am also a co-principal investigator on PSPNET Families. PSPNET Families is an online well-being hub that was created to be responsive and interactive and accessible to PSPNET family members. And we really understand PSP families, the word families, in a very broad way. Families are both adopted and biological, they are community-based. And so when we say families, we really carry this broad understanding. And so what we wanted to do is create a well-being hub, a accessible website that would offer PSPNET families resources, information, skill-building exercises and strategies that would support their unique contexts. PSP families really do live differently in the world than a typical family. And so what we started with was thinking about what are the things that make PSP family members and their experiences unique. And what we ended up coming to understand was that what that unique draws from these ideas of the logistics that are part of their life making, the risks that they encounter directly and indirectly every day, and the identities that are both shaped from within the community and from outside of the community. And so by attending specifically to the needs of PSP families, we were able to really create a website that now we have been told is responsive. It is very much what was needed. It's filling a gap. And so we think it's really important because PSP family members have needs in their own right as they serve alongside the PSP members. And for a long time, they haven't been recognized as a distinct population. And actually, importantly, a lot of times PSP family members themselves don't recognize themselves as a population in need of support or resources or information or services in their own right. That's why we feel this work is so important. We've thought a lot about how do we get this site into the hands or onto the fingertips of those for whom it's intended. You can create wonderful things, but if there's no one there to pick them up, then where do they go? And all that work was really not for anything. So we've tried to be really creative in our sort of inviting of people to the site. And so far, it has been working fairly well. Things that we've done have been to work, each of us doing different presentations and speaking and promoting. We worked with the Families Matter research group and their work when they go to conferences and organizational presentations. We've used social media quite actively and have garnered over 1.5 million impressions since we started promoting and posting on social media.
My name's Heather Hadjistavropoulos, and I'm a professor of psychology, and I am a co-principal investigator on PSPNET Families. It's about a year now that we've been working on developing, evaluating, and then improving the SSO wellbeing course. So that's the wellbeing course for spouses or significant others. And we've fully developed that course. What we're trying to do is take what would normally be shared in face-to-face therapy and put it online in the form of a course. And so we've developed it, we've offered it, and then we've reviewed feedback, and through that feedback made multiple improvements. So we're actually now working on our third version of the course, taking into account the feedback from other spouses or significant others who participated in the course. In the SSO Wellbeing course, we're taking what's normally shared in face-to-face cognitive behavior therapy and putting it online in the form of a course. And so it's very much focused on giving practical strategies for managing mental health concerns like depression, anxiety, PTSD, relationship concerns. The first lesson is really about trying to help clients understand what they're experiencing. So just kind of doing a little bit of a self-assessment on what are my mental health symptoms. And the second lesson is really on helping clients identify maybe thought patterns that they might be having and alternative ways of looking at the world. Kind of changing from maybe identifying some way that might be unhelpful to something that's helpful. Our third lesson is really focused on managing physical symptoms of mental health concerns. And the fourth lesson is focused on behavioral strategies. So mental health difficulties are often associated with avoidance and safety behaviors, and sort of looking at overcoming avoidance. And the fifth lesson is on relapse prevention. In addition to those kind of core strategies, there's all sorts of other resources that spouses or significant others can review depending on their specific concerns. So top resources would be around managing sleep concerns, PTSD, communication and relationship issues. Alcohol is one that sometimes is looked at, anger, those types of things. So we know that this course wouldn't be meant for everybody, but it really is meant for somebody who is concerned about depression or anxiety or PTSD or relationship concerns, or that they really want to get more information maybe to prevent those problems. So either they're currently experiencing symptoms or they feel like something could be happening and could take it as a way to prevent problems. I think that's really, important, is to have something that's available that is tailored to spouses or significant others of first responders and public safety personnel.
My name is Heidi Cramm. I'm an occupational therapist and associate professor in the School of Rehabilitation Therapy at Queen's University. I'm also the lead for the Families Matter research group. When we think about jobs like public safety personnel, we really need to consider that families are in it. They're on the job, serving alongside. So there's a whole set of occupational risks and requirements, just what it means to be on the job, that really these are forces that shape the daily grind of family life. And we need to make sure that the families are acknowledged in their role, because if we don't support the families, we will have a really hard time retaining our public safety personnel. We also need to recognize that families matter in their own right, unequivocally. They have their own needs and issues, and we have to attend to those to make sure that they also are well. There's a bidirectional relationship between the PSP and the family member. So what's good for one is good for the other, and vice versa. It's been an interesting process working on PSPNET Families as a PSP family member. And there are many of us on the team who are connected through our current families, for our families of origin, to military or public safety life. So we're coming with a certain kind of orientation. And what we've learned through the process is that these are a lot of structural forces that are kind of phenomenon that are shaping us. They're not individual failings. It's been a really interesting process for us, and we've seen that feedback really reflected back to us by our users. Our users are telling us that they don't feel as alone. They don't feel as isolated. They have words, they have language to describe the struggles that they're feeling, the work-family conflict, the cognitive overload. They now have language which is very empowering. And so we've been we found it very privileged position for us to feel that we've been able to bring this to life. The response through social media, through our focus groups, through our outreach has been really quite exceptional. And people, at one point, we have one user even saying, this has the potential to be a life-saving resource. We are connecting people to a community, and that really matters because the families are usually in the background. We've been able to bring them forward through the creation of PSPNET Families and to make sure that we all can see that families themselves matter in their own right.